I realized that God always has a plan. And most of the times that if he slows you down because he wants you to think about some things. And so I had a lot of things to think about on my way here. And I want you to dive in with me for a minute, right? Because what's the true responsibility of leadership? What does that look like? The real responsibility of leadership. So there's three tiers that we're going to tap into. One of the greatest qualities that I truly believe leadership is all about is you must be selfless. Right now, selfless it's a couple of the things that you can make fit inside of it too. Because you have to be it's not about you. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about we. How do we make this happen? Right? And something happened to me early in life that made me transition into thinking as an altruistic person. I wanted to figure out, I said, what's this thing? Like, Mom, I'm trying to figure out at 10 years old. I'm like, Mom, why my father ain't around? Like, what's going on? Then Mama grabbed me one day and she says to me, she says, baby, listen, I don't have time for you to be a child. I need you to be a young man right now. My mom sat me down, I'll never forget it. She taught me how to cook, clean, braid, fold, plait, iron, wash, scrub. And I'm like, Mom, why are you teaching me all this? She said, because I need you to help me take care of your brothers and sisters. So when I started to understand that, I said, well, Mom, can I go outside and play? And then she looked at me one day and she said, look, don't ever leave my house. I'm like, okay, wow. What kid comes home and can't leave the house? So then I started to become a very selfless person, because the only thing that mattered to me at that point in time was my brothers and sisters, was figuring out a way. My mom worked 3 jobs. My mom was never home. My mom made it to 1985, my first football game ever, and she never made it to another one my entire career. So I became this person. I became this power that said, okay, Mama can't do it. Daddy ain't here. So it's up to me. So as a leader, very early, did I understand it then? Absolutely not. But did I understand what Mama said? Mama said, I need you not to be a kid, but to understand the roles of a young man. Our kids now
then there was a phone call. You got a phone call, right? And somebody said, hey, come and talk to us.
Yeah, I moved to Beverly Hills.
Because that's what you should do when you become successful.
Yeah,
right?
When I get there, a friend of mine said, you've got to come and tell your story to my service club. You belong to the Rotary. And he said, if I arrange this breakfast meeting, I think our luncheon meeting, he said, would you come, just do a little 30-minute talk and tell your story? And he said, we'll call it Idaho Farm Boy Makes It to Beverly Hills. I said, okay, suits me. So I did this little talk, and evidently they enjoyed it. Before the day was over, I got a couple more invitations. You got to come talk to our service club, tell that same story, share those same ideas. That started me thinking about, really becoming involved in teaching and training. I'd done a lot of training and inspiring in my own entrepreneurial organizations, but not for the public. So I started doing these little talks for service clubs, and once in a while a high school class, college class, enjoying it very much. Then one day a man said to me, I've heard your talk now 2 or 3 times, and I've got this little company going. And he said, if you would come make a presentation, I'd be happy to pay you. And I thought, incredible.
There's a job.
Yeah. Could I really share my story and get paid? He said, I'll be happy to do it.
Wow.
So I did that. Then that led to another one and another one. Then later on the idea occurred, why not have some representatives out selling tickets to come and hear a public seminar. Yeah. And we finally put that together. And that was, all those many, many years ago.
What was the culture like back then when you guys were out barnstorming America and really developing the whole personal development culture that now is so prominent in America? What was that like?
It was exciting. Of course, I gave it all away. Huh. All of those speeches I did in colleges, high schools, and for service clubs and so on, that was all free. Then when somebody offered to pay me, that put a whole new look on it. And then I began this process of creating something valuable enough to where someone would buy a ticket and go and listen. And those were exciting days. The first one I did for pay, I think I had about 45 or 50 participants that bought tickets. A lot of them were friends of mine that I'm sure bought because they were friends of mine, but there were some others that legitimately bought at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills. And that first public seminar for people buying tickets, I think, was 1961 or 62. Developed to where I am now, traveling the world and telling my story and still sharing ideas. But it was a fantastic time.
And I got my bag and I see my auntie answer the phone. She said, Inky, it's this coach on the phone. He want to talk to you. I said, is a basketball coach? She said, no, he's a new football coach at Crim. I'm like, all right, I'll give him a couple minutes. I get on the phone with him. He said, what you up to, man? I said, nothing, heading to basketball practice. He said, oh, you had the basketball practice? I said, yeah, man. He said, you don't want to play football no more? I said, no, I'm done with football. I said, I'm going to the NBA, be a point guard. He said, oh, I want you to go look on NBA rosters and see how many 5'9" point guards you see. Then he said, I want you to look on NFL rosters and tell me how many cornerbacks you see. That's 5'9", and you call me back. I went and worked out, ran a 40, did agility drills. We're walking off the field. He says to me, son, what college do you want to go to? I said, man, I just want to go D1. He said, no, you didn't hear me. What college do you want to go to? I said, man, I just want to go D1. He said, no, you didn't hear me. He said, what I'm trying to tell you is I'm willing to fight for you. Do you want it? He said, I know you're a warrior, but you got a warrior beside you. I'm willing to go just as far as you're willing to go. Do you want it? He said, or do you want to stay in that 2-bedroom home with 14 people? I just need to know, are you willing to fight for what you said you wanted? I said, I'm on board. Let's go. He said, if we go 1-9, I just need to know you're going to show up and give me everything you got. And if you show up and give me everything you got, I'm going to show up and I'm going to give you everything I got. So when I got my scholarship to Tennessee, the first person I went to was my high school coach. I grabbed him, I hugged him, I kissed him and told him I loved him. Coaches at every phase of my life, I was never anything special. I was always a kid that wanted to do well. I was always a kid that tried to stay out of trouble. I was always a kid that treated people right. But at every phase of my life, I had amazing people that came in and saw something in me when I couldn't see it in myself, and I knew they cared beyond anything else. In my first meeting with my host, they said, Inky, what's your plan? I said, man, I just want to come here, play about 3 years, and go to the NFL. They said, all right, that sounds cool. They said, have you ever been to a sorority party? I said, no, I've never been. They said, man, we take you to a sorority party tonight. Like, we're going to be cool, jamming. I said, cool. I said, can you take me to the Marriott? He said, yeah, I'll take you to the Marriott. Go up to the Marriott, I'm getting out of the car. I said, man, I'll catch you tomorrow. He said, man, are you sick? Like I told you, you got to go to this party. I said, no, brother, I'm not sick. I said, this is my first time being in the room with my own bed, and it's a king size at that. I said, bump that sorority party.
It's easy to get discouraged and accept that it's never going to work out. But God said in Zephaniah 3, I will turn things around for my people. He's a turnaround God. He turns barren wombs into babies. He turns red seas into dry pathways. He turns 5 loaves and 2 fish into dinner for thousands. He turns skin filled with leprosy into skin as clear as a little baby. When thoughts tell you your situation is permanent, you'll never get out of this problem, never get well, never see your family restored, no, get ready, a turnaround is coming. God is about to turn sickness into health, turn addictions into freedom, turn lack into abundance, turn struggle into ease. You're coming in to a turnaround season. You're going to see the hand of God do things that are unusual, uncommon, out of the ordinary. This is what Zechariah said. God has turned my mountains into molehills. Mountains represent obstacles, things that look permanent, like it's immovable. Depression can be a mountain. Feels like you'll always struggle with it. A mountain can be people at work that are not for you. They have more seniority. What can you do about it? Or how about a mountain of debt, lack, can't get ahead? It's been in your family for years. This is a new day. That mountain is about to be turned to a molehill. God is about to flatten some things out.
The guy was the new owner of a team, a baseball team that was in the basement of the league when he took it over. He went to the pitcher and he said, what is your best throw? He said, well, I got a good curveball and I've got a good fastball. And he went on talking about his different throws. He said, but tell me this, what is your best throw? He thought for a moment. He said, I've got a good fastball. He said, that's all I want you to work on. Nothing else. Just develop your fastball. The next year, they went to the World Series. Most people don't know where their fastball is. Most people go through life never discovering what their talents are. Most people never develop their talents. They have skills and abilities, but if you don't nurture them, if you don't develop them, they will never serve you. Your gifts can take you many places if you develop your gifts. And you'll be surprised at the things that you're able to do. When you learn how to block things out, when you learn how to keep thine eyes single, learning how to concentrate, learning how to focus in, deciding that you're going to focus to develop your skills, you'll be surprised at the ideas that will come to you, of the people that you'll be able to attract, of the opportunities that you'll be able to see. You'll begin to see things that have been standing there looking you in the face and say, I can't believe this has been here all this time. But you can learn all the techniques in the world. If you don't believe in yourself, it won't happen for you. You've got to focus on you. And as you convince you, as you sell yourself, every day, you will begin to see a difference in the things that you're doing. Selling yourself on your ability to perform a job, to achieve a certain objective. Telling yourself every day, here I go again. And I got what it takes. This is my day, and nothing out here is going to stop me. Decide that you're going to push yourself. You have something that you brought to the universe. And that if you decide that my life deserves my developing, this is what I do well. and becoming the best at it and mastering myself and seeing what I have within me, I grant you that your gifts will take you places that will literally amaze you. So you've got to work on it. When other folk are having a good time, you've got to have the strength of character to concentrate, to read, to digest information.
Never, ever allow anybody to make you feel bad about being so blessed when you've worked your ass off to get it. You decided all the clubs, partying, hanging out, popping bottles with models, and all that that ain't for me. I'm gonna be out here running in the hot sun, practicing, playing basketball, shooting on weekends while everybody else is clubbing and hanging out. You got your focus right.
As you begin to develop and expand your skills and your talents and your vision of yourself, you will always be in control of your destiny.
Don't live frustrated, thinking that there's something wrong with you, trying to prove to them who you are, trying to convince them to affirm you. Let it go. There's nothing wrong with you. If you had to have it, they would give it. Since you don't, shake it off, keep your head held high. Your value doesn't come from people, it comes from your Creator.
Either you take on the shape of your environment or you resist it and transform by the renewing of your mind. Everything you've ever changed about your life started in your head. It started in your head. It started in your mind. It started with a decision. It all starts in your mind.
What we think is the best many times is far less than what God has in mind. You haven't seen your best days. You may feel stuck. Doors have closed. That all happened for a reason. The best part of your life is not behind you. The best part of your life is the next part of your life. You wouldn't be discouraged over that door that closed if you knew what God was about to open. You haven't seen or imagined what God has in store.
I must be inclined that it's somebody who's holding back on a decision, holding back on moving forward, and you're holding back because of fear. Fear of being rejected, being replaced, fear of people that you want to accept you won't accept you, fear of moving out. When fear controls you, your decisions become illogical. And it's a problem because God is not the author or the generator of fear.
So feeling safe and feeling secure is very important to me, and I think it's very important to every single person. I think that God created us to feel safe, secure, confident, and bold. Your soul maybe has it blocked, but God did not create you for fear and worry and insecurity and a lack of confidence and extreme shyness and extreme timidity.
You will become whatever you cultivate. Whatever you feed, that's what's going to grow in your life. I'm saved, but I gotta change my diet. I'm saved, but I gotta change who influences me, who speaks into my life, who feeds my mind, who determines what looks good on me, who determines what I can do and who I am. What's wrong with you is all those people who knew you win, because if they knew you win, they'll hold you to back then. I gotta go.
Too many people looking for identity and value, and they're looking for it in all the wrong places. They look for it in what they do, who they know, what they own, what they look like. And I think that we need to do our best to look as good as we can. All I can say is take what God's given you and do the best you can with it. But don't be comparing yourself with somebody else.
I become confident when I get the right view of other people and I get the right view of myself. It's amazing, right? You ever notice that arrogance requires advertising, but confidence speaks for itself? In fact, insecurity, cynicism, and arrogance, they're all loud. But confidence doesn't even have to speak, because confidence isn't based on your words. Confidence is an action. It's an ability to step into the moment and say, I'm not backing down, I'm not quitting, I got my confidence back, and I can fulfill.
Your tongue is the rudder for your life. It's determining the direction. Next time you're tempted to say something negative about yourself, your future, your finances, zip it up. Don't steer yourself toward defeat. Say not, you're too young. Say not, you can't accomplish your dreams. God wouldn't have given them to you if you weren't well able.
Success is all about building relationships. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Some people might not step up when you ask them for help, but guess what? The worst thing can happen to you if somebody refuses you. You didn't have it anyway. Ask people. You never know. Suppose they say yes. That could be the turning factor.
You will travel in the direction of your thinking. If you think down, you will go down. If you think up, you will come up. The way you think about your situation determines your reality. The way you think about your family determines your reality. The way you think about yourself. You're not being hurt by the way people think about you. Many of those people are a reflection of how you think about you. If you think about yourself a certain way, you will attract people who think about you a certain way. And you will expel from your life people who do not line up with how you think about yourself. The mind then becomes the battleground. The mind, Satan is always trying to do battle to take over your mind with warfare. Some of you is fighting your thoughts right now.
Know your worth. Don't let nobody else determine it. People aren't mind readers. They don't know what you're thinking. Don't assume they know unless you ask with specifics. And then recognize that no is not a rejection. Every time you hear no, it moves you one step closer to a yes. Everybody can't say that. Now, unless you got a harebrained idea. And just remember that success is about building a world that looks the way you want it to, nobody else.
I want to begin the process of deserving. What would that be? What process should I begin engaging in to deserve good health, to deserve a good relationship? What must I do to begin the process of deserving?
There's enough people that are telling us we can't do it, that we're not good enough. Why do we want to tell ourselves that? We know for a fact that thoughts influence actions. We need to get our own self-affirmations. There need to be quiet moments in your bedroom, quiet moments when you're brushing your teeth, that we need to reaffirm, I am the captain of my ship and the master of my fate.
If you don't know who you are, you'll discount yourself, thinking, oh man, I'm ordinary, nothing much to offer, nothing special about me. Now life will try to make you feel like you're anything but amazing. Disappointments, betrayals, rejection will try to steal your sense of value. But all through the day, despite what thoughts are telling you, despite who left you out, you need to remind yourself, I am amazing. I have been wonderfully made. Don't go around feeling ordinary when in fact you're extraordinary. People may try to make you feel average. You don't have much to offer. Are you going to believe what people say about you or believe what God says about you? You're amazing. Have you ever said that to yourself? It has to start on the inside.
If people can understand that as long as they don't forgive, they're poisoning themselves. It's like me being mad at somebody who hurt me that's out having a good time and don't even care that I'm mad. That doesn't hurt them. It's pointless. It's like, okay, you hurt me, but now if I'm going to hate you, then I'm letting you continue to hurt me. And you're controlling my life, and I'm not going to do that.
It is your values. It is your ethics. It is how you make choices that get you promoted. It is not your strength. It is not your talent. It is not how you fight. It is not how you draw. It is not your intellectualism. It is your values. So that when you are backed up against the wall and you have to make a decision, true leadership is how you make decisions in the moment. What do you care the most about? Being seen or being connected?
Doors of opportunity are open to those who continually knock. So we don't find open doors of opportunity because we need them. We find them because we deserve them. Only those who knock deserve to find an opening. It's as if you search, you will find. Finding is reserved for the searchers because they deserve it. Now, at first they may have needed it, but they now know that just needing it is not sufficient. The reason why you're going to be blessed with good ideas is because you've come searching. And for those who search, they will find answers. To find a good idea, you must go looking. Rarely does a good idea interrupt you. So we get not what we need, but we get what we deserve. It says if you ask, someone has an answer. If you keep asking, the answers belong to you. So we don't get what we need, we get what we deserve.
When the crisis is on and you have to make a decision, and it is a tough decision, what you choose tells me what you value. It is not a matter of rights and wrongs, it's a matter of priorities.
And when people ask, is there a difference between people who are living at a higher level, who are at peace, and the rest of us who are not at peace? They know we all have peaceful thoughts, and so do enlightened people. They have peaceful thoughts. The only difference is that they have nothing else. They don't have all of this other stuff that goes with it. All of the anger, all of the judgment, all of the fears, all of the anxiety. The stuff that we have come to believe is just a part of our lives. The self-reproachment. We have a tendency to think that this is normal. It's only normal.
The number one thing that's going to change your life, the only thing that will change your life, change your business, change your money, change your relationship, is you must raise your standard. It means that all of us in life have things we want. We don't get what we want. We get what we have to have. We all get what we tolerate in ourselves and other people. But when you're no longer willing to tolerate something, that's when your life changes. The difference in people is their standards, period. The difference in people is their standards, period. And what do I mean by standards? Everyone in the world has a list of things they think they should do. I should lose weight. I should work out. I should spend more time with my kids. I should work harder. I should make more calls. I should. And then you know what? People don't do their shoulds and they get mad at themselves. What changes people is when your should becomes a must. When suddenly the thing you said should happen has to happen. That's when human beings change.
Here's my reasons, because I want the energy to really make my life work. Because it's tough out there, and I want to be stronger than I've ever been before. I want to go in front of the mirror, and if I'm naked, not, want to laugh. I want to look there and take a good look and go, yeah, I'm proud of whatever I see there. Whatever it takes, something's going to make you laugh, smile, something that's going to tease yourself, but something's going to move you to another level. If you identify yourself in a new way, and you own that every day, and that becomes the standard of how you live, you'll find a way to make that standard real. I'm just simply saying to you, take those 3 magic words and live them. Raise your standard.
Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. If you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. Start this whole process of personal development, work on yourself. Make yourself more valuable to the marketplace. I'm telling you, you can so dynamically change your income, and economics is the least of the values that you can start earning in terms of equity. If you'll start working harder on yourself than you do on your job. Work hard on yourself and develop the graces. All of the stuff necessary to become more valuable to the marketplace. I'm telling you, your whole life can explode into change. Promotions, no problem. Becoming more valuable to the company, I'm telling you, no problem. Money, no problem. Economics, no problem. Future, no problem. If you just go to work on the right thing. Not get things out there to change. Don't try to change the seed. Don't change the soil. Don't change the sunshine. Don't change the rain. Don't change the mix of seasons. Let the miracle of everything that's available work for you, and start working on the inside. Work on your philosophy. Work on your attitude. Work on your personality. Work on your language. Work on the gift of communication. Work on all of your abilities. And if you'll start making those personal changes, I'm telling you, everything will change.
And to not do that is to cheat yourself. Because in the end, what we get will never make us happy. I don't care how many stars on your chart, how many Academy Awards, how much money you make. What makes us happy is progress. Progress equals happiness. If you're not growing, you're dying inside.
I want you to really stop and take a look at your life. Take an honest look at your life. We have actually been conditioned to kid with ourselves, to lie to ourselves, to not really take an honest look at the results we're getting. I want you to take a real honest look at your results. And when you look at them, ask yourself, am I living the way I really want to live?
How many of you know if you had your life to live over again, you could have done more than what you've done thus far? Raise your hands, please. Now, that proves the point of what we do, what we accomplish, what we produce in life is only a tip of the iceberg of what's possible for us. I want you to think about some major goal that gives your life a sense of meaning right now. You have something special. I want you to think about some major goal that you'd like to achieve. Something that gives your life a sense of meaning. Something that will give your life a sense of purpose and direction. Life is about expansion. Robert Schuller said success is never ending. And I want you to think about some goal that will give your life a sense of meaning and value. And whatever it is, I don't want you to limit it. I want you to expand it. I've found that most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. No, most people have been like me. Most people aim in life too low, and they aim too low and hit. I did that for many years, and many don't aim at all. So I want you to think about goals in 3 areas. Some personal goal that you'd like to achieve. Something that gives your life meaning right now. And some career goal, some financial goal that you'd like to achieve. And your social contribution. Horace Mann said we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind.
And I'm here to share with you that the secret of success is determined by your daily agenda. In fact, I wrote a book a few years ago called Today Matters. I'm passionate about that book because what it does is it helps you, it helps me to understand that we make decisions and then we manage decisions. And too often we think, I will make a decision. For example, you're saying, I'm going to make a decision to be a coach. Or I'm going to make a decision, you know what, I'm going to make a decision to be a public speaker. I want to be a communicator. Well, congratulations. You've made a wonderful decision. Coach, speaking, good decisions. But that won't make you a successful coach. That won't make you a successful communicator. It's not the decision that makes you. You've got to make the decision by managing it, and you manage the decision on a daily basis. In other words, what you want to be tomorrow, you've got to do today. You visualize tomorrow. That gives you hope, and that's your motivation, and that's your dream. Nothing wrong with that. You visualize tomorrow, but you value today. What's that mean? That means that what I do every day is either getting me closer to that vision, that dream, that goal, or it's really driving me farther away from it. You see, every day we are either repairing or we're preparing. You see, if I messed up yesterday, guess what I get to do today? Fix yesterday. In other words, if I didn't do the right thing yesterday, what I got to do today is I've got to repair. I've got to go back, make amends, backtrack, put the car in reverse, put my life in reverse. I've got to go back there. I've got to repair. Now, every day I spend repairing, I'm not spending preparing. Well, you see, we repair when we fail to manage the decisions that we've made. We prepare when we, on a daily basis, manage the decisions that we've made. So your footprints to success are really footprints of success. Because every step that is made and taken based upon the goals that you have for your life and you're managing those goals correctly, every step is the progressive realization of success in your life. And by the way, you'll get the diploma, you'll get the certificate, but when you get that, you didn't arrive. It just is another step in preparing you to reach your potential. Each one of us should live our life as if we'll never learn everything we need to learn. We'll never be able to accomplish everything we wanted to accomplish. We won't be able to experience everything we wanted to experience. We should live our life every day hungry, understanding that we are to live until we die. You see, I think success can't be summarized in a flippant degree or program or diploma or arrival. I think today, if you are learning to coach, if you are learning to speak, if you're doing the things that are essential to the decisions and you're managing those decisions well, can I say something to you? Congratulations, you are already a success. Now, guess what? Over time, it shows up. You've heard the expression. You maybe even said it yourself. You've heard the expression, I'm sure. I've worked all my life to become an overnight success. That's the way it works. All of a sudden somebody recognizes you. All of a sudden somebody congratulates you. You didn't get good at that moment. You've been good for a long time. It just showed up someday.
Drop it. Drop it. That applies to every offense that you've been carrying. Drop it. That applies to every empty net that's in your life where you've been failing and carrying the failure around, of fishing all night and catching nothing, and what you did last week, and even the fight that you had before you clicked on this YouTube video. Drop that. Drop that. Sometimes we don't drop the net because we're so busy, we're so caught up in the discouragement. You know, it's really hard to drop the net when you're drowning in disappointment.
I think so often we live our life and we live our life wanting to share a great story that many times we miss out on living a great story.
When you wake up in the morning, don't lie in bed and think of everything wrong with you. Instead of focusing on what's wrong with you, start focusing on what's right with you.
The point of change. What's the whole point? Why are we even talking about changes? Why do you even want to change? And just to really strip it down and make it crystal clear today, the point of change is to grow.
Too many people go through life against themselves, feeling wrong on the inside. I heard someone say, I discovered the enemy, it was me. Are you your enemy? Are you defeating yourself, limiting your dreams, sabotaging your relationships, all because you don't like you? You have enough people and circumstances against you. Don't be against yourself.
When people talk to me about the mindset, they're talking about a way of thinking. And trust me, you have a mindset right now, just like I have a mindset. It's how we view life. I know people with a negative mindset, which basically they view everything in a negative way. I know people with a positive mindset, which means they view everything in a positive way. People with an abundance mindset, a scarcity mindset. It's a way of thinking.
The point of change is to improve. The question is, are you growing? Are you getting better? Have you missed the whole point? See, some of us, the reason why we don't change, the reason why we don't grow is because we miss the whole point of it, and we try to stay the same, and we try to fight to keep everything exactly how it used to be, and we want to project a great life, but we don't actually want to focus on living an actually great life.
The question is, how did we get there? How did we get that mindset? Through practice and habits. You see, the things I do today determines the habits I have tomorrow, which determines the mindset that I have for life. So go back to what you do daily and ask yourself, what kind of a mindset am I developing today?
Stop introducing yourself to the next season of your life with the resume of your regrets from the last one. Leave that out. Leave it out.
That's why some of you right now, you don't understand, but the people you're hanging out with, it's not that they're bad people, it's that those people are not gonna help you grow. And you're missing the point. You're hanging on to old relationships that unless you release those people, you're never gonna step into all that God has for you.
The best thing you can do for your family, for your friends, is be good to you. Be kind to you. Be merciful to you. You're good to others. Why aren't you good to you? You don't criticize your friend. Why are you criticizing you? You compliment your coworker. When's the last time you complimented yourself? You admire their talent. Why don't you admire your talent? Start being good to you. That's not being selfish. That's not arrogant. That's loving yourself.
All of us are basically the same. The only difference between the haves and the have-nots are their habits. Habits are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken. You need to write that down. If you change your habits, that's why you want to be in a community of collaborative, achievement-driven relationships. You want to be in a community with somebody who's been there, done that, and bought the t-shirt, who's on the level where you would like to be and go beyond. All of us are the same. I like to make it simple. All of us are the same. The only difference between you and your family members, you and your friends, are your habits.
The most important relationship you have is the relationship with yourself. Too many people don't like who they are. They focus on their faults and weaknesses. They relive their mistakes and failures. They wish they were different. If they were taller, had a better personality, looked like their cousin, they're critical toward themselves. And they wonder why they're not happy, why they don't have good relationships. It's because they don't like themselves. If you don't get along with you, you're not going to get along with other people.
What is the better life? It's the step up above the good life. There's the good life, but then there's the better life. The only problem with the good life is the good life's not good enough. You were made for far more. You were made for more than the good life. You were made for the better life. How can I live fear-free today? And why? Why can I now live fearlessly? Fear is based on ignorance. Fear is based on lies. When you know the truth, it sets you free from fears. Fears, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real.
Potential is like milk. If you drink it and pour it out in time, it can be provision. It does a body good if you drink it in time. But if you let it get past that date that was put on the jug, that's why some of us are miserable. Because of unlived potential that's been sitting in the jug, sitting on the shelf. I'm afraid to fail, so I won't try. And now my potential has become poisonous, and I'm miserable because I'm not living my potential. I gotta forget about the past. My potential is not back there. And straining toward what's ahead, I gotta persevere. My potential won't come to pass if I play with it. I can't strike 3 times. I gotta strain towards something. I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God.
You may have weaknesses. You've made mistakes. We all have. But there's a lot more right with you than there is wrong with you. Dwelling on the negative doesn't help you to do better. Beating yourself up for past mistakes doesn't move you forward. The better you feel about yourself, the better you'll do. The more you like yourself, the further you'll go. You can't give away what you don't have. If you don't forgive yourself, you won't forgive others. If you don't get along with you, how can you get along with your family? The best thing you can do is start being for you. When you're kind to yourself, then you can be kind to others. It starts with you.
I think so many of us, we get so confused when it comes to change. Keep believing that, you know what, I'm gonna change, but I'm gonna start tomorrow. Isn't it funny? Yesterday you said today. Last year, remember last year? But last year you said this year. The good news is at hand. I don't know what you need to change. I'm gonna keep preaching each week. I don't know what you need to change. Lose weight! Start the job! Quit the job! Write the book, for heaven's sake! Start the business! Be content! Stop complaining! I don't know what you need to do. All I know is you need to start today!
Leadership is a very simple concept. It's a very simple concept. If you want it, you gotta go get it. It's time to stay focused. Why are you so antisocial? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you staying on the basketball court so much? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you out there practicing in the hot sun when ain't nobody else out there? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you not clubbing? Like every time I text you and invite you to go do something fun and cool, you always studying. Because I'm trying to get it. The more weird you are is a reflection of how committed you are to focusing on your molding and shaping and ideas and your craft so that when it's time for you to make your rounds, you're gonna fly.
This suffering, this sacrifice you're making is an indicator of progress. It's an indicator of obsession. It's an indication of progress towards our dreams. The price you will pay for not making your dream come true is far greater than the one that you will pay to make it come true.
You still got work to do. Stay on that basketball court. Stay on that football field. All the homies texting and calling and trying to make you feel bad about being so focused. It's grind season, homie. It's not about today. It's about the future. You do the work now. And all of the shit that you could ever want to do for your family, your kids, your loved ones, it's all going to be on a whole nother stratosphere.